All right, everyone, welcome to Previously Recorded. This is a special episode. It is just me tonight with a special guest, James Gallagher. Say hello, James.
I'm James Gallagher.
Welcome to the podcast. Um, this is going to be a new type of episode that we're going to have. We're going to call it kind of maybe a mini episode, if you will. But it's going to be more discussion based. We'll kind of see how it goes. Let's begin. We got to start everything off by saying that this episode of Previously Recorded is brought to you by Totally Tees. For all your t-shirt needs, contact Jack at Totally Tees at Instagram and on Facebook. So today's episode, we are going to be talking about Bohemian Rhapsody. That's right, folks. Is this real life or is this just fantasy? And we are going to be talking today to see if this is the best song of all time. Now, remember that music is super subjective and it is very personal and it's even based on your mood. So, we're not saying that this is a definite reason, but we're kind of just going to have a good convo and see what we have to say. And you can weigh in on Twitter and Facebook if you disagree or agree. So let's get started. And I think we're going to start by saying, fuck Rolling Stones magazine.
Someone at Rolling Stone needs to get fired. That's all I'm gonna say.
So what we're talking about is we dove into their top 500 songs to kind of base this conversation and see where Bohemian Rhapsody lies on that top 500 songs list. And I thought maybe top 15, top 10 because it is a fantastic song.
Top 20 at least.
But it is ranked officially.
Whoa. Let's gotta build up to that.
We got to build up to it.
Ridiculous.
It is
We gotta
ridiculous.
build up.
All right, so I think we'll start with their number one. You want to start with the number one or number 10?
I want to start with how the fucking article started.
All right, you talk about this article.
This is the opening statement. A great song doesn't attempt to be anything, it just is. When you hear a great song, you can think of where you were the first time you heard it. The sounds, the smells, it takes the emotions of a moment, holds it for years to come, it transcends time. A great song has all key elements: melody, emotion, a strong statement that becomes part of the lexicon. And great production, think of Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. That song had everything: different melodies, opera, R&B, rock, and it explored all those different genres in an authentic way where it felt natural. Can you take a guess at who the author of
Author
that
that
article
is, I have Bob Dylan.
And that would be a one Jay-Z.
Completely.
I was a little taken back by that, but
Yeah.
I thought it was very
Hey,
well written, and
It
I was
seemed it.
excited for the article, and then they shit all over it.
yeah. So they talk about this. These top 10 songs are. I mean, we could sit here and dissect all top of these 10s and say, you know what? Fuck you, Rolling Stones. None of these are top 10 songs. What makes you better than us? A lot. That's the answer. Maybe a lot. But
I mean, someone could think that this is the number one best song, but they're wrong.
yeah. I mean, I when we set out to do this discussion, I thought that Bohemian Rhapsody is. I think it's arguably the best song of all time. I mean, there's so much that goes into it. It was never. I mean, when it did come out, it was panned. Like this was like this. Everyone was like, this song fucking sucks. And now it stood the test of time. Everyone knows it. Well, most people know, but now pretty much everyone knows it, especially with the movie that just came out, entitled Bohemian Rhapsody.
This song had a movie named after it.
That's very true. It did, and
Enough said.
the story it covers in itself is very in depth and kind of it's very emotional for sure. I mean, he talks about killing a man and life had just begun for him and now it's pretty much over and it's very operatic and very new and just it's very different. I just think it's just so ballsy.
It builds very well.
Yeah.
It builds like no other.
I mean,
song.
like, who the fuck would thought like it would have been Mamma Mia, Mamma Mia, Mamma Mia, let me go, and then the whole Galileo, like all that bullshit. Like it's crazy. Does anyone definitively know what that song's about? No, it really doesn't. But I can tell you what it means to me, and James, you can tell it what it means to you.
kind of just take it as it is.
Yeah.
Really, all I think about when the song's on is Wayne's World. So
I mean, that movie gave it a resurgence for sure. When I think of that song, I just think of. I mean, the immediate thought's always Freddie and his talent and just what he could do. I don't dive too much into the actual meaning of the song, and that could be points against why it's maybe the greatest song of all time. But like I said, it's all relative. People always come back. The number one comeback to that is always "Stairway to Heaven."
I was gonna say I was surprised the Rolling Stone didn't have that at number one. Kind of
Yeah,
like how when the radio stations do like the Memorial Day weekend
that
countdown,
it's
that's always
always number
number one.
one. MGK's.
Yeah,
I looked at MGK's list. Their top. I think it was their top 500.
MGK, MMR, all of
It
them.
was "Stairway to Heaven" was like one or two, and "A Day in the Life" by the Beatles was number one. Which, I mean, that song's fucking great.
There's a lot of this. Like I said, the Rolling Stones list was dominated by Beatles.
Beatles.
Songs.
So we had Bohemian Rhapsody was ranked at 166 on the Rolling Stones list, and number 12 on the MGK, which is the local Philadelphia classic rock station, at number 12.
It's because Philly knows better.
Here are songs that are ranked above Bohemian Rhapsody, and you kind of say some of the most outlandish ones.
Get ready for this one.
These are bad, and I think James has one that's been eating at him.
At 100, which is 66 above Queen. Gnarls Barkley, Crazy.
Yes, that one stuck out the most to me. That song, I mean, that song. It doesn't hold anything to Bohemian Rhapsody.
To be fair, I like the song, but
Yeah, so do I.
I mean, come on, it shouldn't even. It should be.
Music. A song that I thought was kind of weird that it was above it was "Maggie May" by Rod Stewart at number 131. That song is very simple to me. It's a very
It's a good song if you're a 45-year-old woman.
or man, but that song does not. Bohemian Raps. It's like Bohemian Rhapsody is so much better than Maggie May. Rod Stewart. None of Rod Stewart's songs in my book can be ahead of anything. Well, maybe not anything, but most of Queen songs.
6 million copies sold worldwide for Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
166 on Rolling Stone.
I mean,
Oh, and
it's
by
probably
the way,
skyrocketed.
coming in at 147, which I think is even crazier than the Gnarls Barkley, is Rock Lobster, which I thought was a joke song
yeah.
because of
And who's that
because
by?
of Family Guy, the B-52s.
The B-52s,
Yeah,
Rock
yeah,
Lobster.
Rock
You hearing
Lobster.
that, people? If you're disagreeing with us, I think you should stop listening. If you think Rock Lobster is better than Bohemian Rhapsody, I mean, come on.
If you like Rock Lobster, we can meet up. We'll talk about it. I'll tell you that you're wrong, and then I'll slap you right in the mouth.
Another song that I was ahead of Bohemian Rhapsody, which is "I Want to Be Sedated" by the Ramones at 145. To me, the Ramones are very simple. Their music style is very simple. It's very straightforward rock and roll. To me, I mean, maybe that song is better, but Queen was very experimental, and for them to be that experimental and make good music, I mean, like the Beatles. I mean, arguably Queen and the Beatles are two of the top 5 greatest bands of all time. I mean, I think the Beatles are number 1, but again, it's all relative. Someone could disagree with me. That's just going
That's a
off kind
whole
of
nother
facts.
podcast.
That
you
is a
gotta get
whole
into
nother
right
episode. But I'm kind of just rambling.
Well, I thought
I,
I thought this one was pretty funny because I love Little Richard, and at 43, Tutti Frutti,
I know.
and
I
I actually I'm okay with that. I
at 43.
think it should be higher.
Yeah, really?
Come on, that's a bop.
I mean, Tutti Frutti.
That's a bop.
I'll root it.
I have I have so many Little Richard songs. I'm not even kidding.
I would like to kind of try and drive reference to other songs that attempted or have successfully accomplished what Queen did with starting out with a song, basically it's a multiple songs within a song. Is the way I view Bohemian Rhapsody. It's different parts, different melodies, different
Agreed.
compositions into one song, and it's like I said, it's just highly impressive to just tell one solid story of this man. The one song that comes to mind as a Green Day fan is "Jesus of Suburbia," where they have one 9-minute song that is telling one story but 5 different parts. And for those of you who don't know what "Jesus of Suburbia" is, it was a pretty iconic song off of the American Idiot album. It's probably not the iconic song off that album, but it's definitely one of my favorites. And that's like the only song I could think of offhand that really kind of attempts to, not attempt in the same style that Queen did, because Queen literally that song is very operatic, and that's not what Green Day tried to do. But just the attempting to combine different types of music into kind of one thing or multiple songs into one cohesive song is just it's super impressive.
If I'm being honest with you,
Hmm.
I've only heard that song like 2 times.
Yeah, and I've heard that song probably 200 times.
I like Green Day, but it doesn't really go past Dookie and
Yeah.
maybe American Idiot.
And I'll be the first one to say, as a diehard Green Day fan, not diehard, maybe not anymore, but I'm still a huge fan. None of their songs.
You're the biggest Green Day fan I know.
None of their. I would say maybe 2 or 3 songs in my head maybe crack the top 150, like maybe 175.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't see any on the Rolling Stone list, and they could have at least had one.
I think something from Dookie could have definitely been on the top 500 songs of all time,
Rock
or even
Lobster.
or even American Idiot. I mean, that song
Yeah,
was
that,
huge.
that was like, that was really big.
It was huge. Yeah, as I'm looking over the list, I mean, it's not really, I'm not really seeing anything. And I guess maybe I'll have to fact check this episode later on.
I'm starting a petition to get whoever worked on this to just never work at Rolling Stone ever.
You know what's an interesting one on here? That's Lose Yourself is on this list.
By Eminem.
Yes.
Stan was also on it. Stan
They
was pretty
consider-
high, I think.
So
Well,
on
Beyonce's on the list somewhere too. I told you I looked
Yeah.
at the entire.
Kelly Clarkson's on this list as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
She's towards the end. She's like
She was
like
pretty high.
445 or whatever. It's just it's weird.
Uh,
I don't- This we fuck you, Rolling Stones. That's just all I want to say. So I'm gonna
you mess with my head, and I
You-
don't like it.
yeah. I mean, you're supposed to be this
Get out of my
iconic, this iconic rock and roll magazine, and you don't even have Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody in your top. I mean, if you're not gonna have it in your top 10, fine. It's got to be in the top 100 of songs because there's a few, I mean, there's literally few songs I can rattle off the top of my head that are better than Bohemian Rhapsody. I mean, nobody's ever going to come together and agree that this is the best song of all time. But I think we should maybe dive into this top 10 list right here and see what they claim is the best song of all time.
Let's do it.
No, all right. So you're probably thinking maybe it's the Rolling Stones, maybe it's the Beatles, maybe it's Leonard Skinner. It's Bob Dylan, like a Rolling Stone.
It's because they wrote a song about their magazine.
Yeah, I guess so. Did they pay him to write this song? We're gonna
Did
put
he write
this.
a song about the Rolling Stones.
Or did he write the song about a bunch of stones rolling down a hill?
Either way, it's not
Either
my
way.
number one.
It's nowhere near my number one. Their number 2 is "I Can't Get No Satisfaction" by the Rolling Stones, which biased because that's the name of the magazine.
I think they could be number 2, but not with that song.
That was my point too. I don't
I
think
have at least 3 other Rolling Stones songs that are better than that.
"Give Me Shelter."
Yep, I wrote that one
Yeah,
down.
I actually had there's a couple actually. Which ones did you have?
Yeah.
Give me
You go. I currently can't find them.
"Give Me Shelter." I would probably say is their best song.
Oh wait, here you go. Sympathy for the Devil or
Mary. I liked Mary Jane. One last call for Mary Jane. Is that? Did I fuck that up or is that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that was.
I don't know. I
I really
fucked that
like
up.
She's a Rainbow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not big on the Stones to begin with. I didn't until actually a couple years ago get into them because I just never. I grew up on the Beatles with my dad, and so I think you guys were. Your dad hates the Beatles,
I
right?
grew up on neither.
Yeah.
I just got into them myself.
Well, you're a big music guy.
Well, yeah.
But
My mom used to listen to AC/DC all the time, and my dad sometimes would show some kind of emotion and put the radio on. And it would usually be like Beastie Boys or something.
Do we need to talk about this a little bit more? I mean, me and Shane never talk about
That's
this.
a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole other therapy session. Just kidding. So their number 3 on this list is what I would not argue if it was number 1, and it's "Imagine" by John Lennon.
You would argue if it would be number
I
one?
would not like if that was number 1. I would be like, okay, that's
It's
a great song. It's so simple, talking about a great time. Like, just imagine what this world could be like.
Also not my number one.
No, it's not my number 1 either. But,
But
it's
I agree with it.
you could arguably make that like if that was number 1, I'd be like, okay, like I wouldn't have a problem with that because
Well, over the Bob Dylan song, yeah.
yeah, I mean, and like a Rolling Stone, I don't even think it's Bob Dylan's best song.
Bob Dylan. If
I
you ever listen to this,
fuck
have
you.
one good song, but also fuck you.
The times they are changing.
No.
I like Mama You've Been on My Mind. I like that song a lot too. I don't know. Bob Dylan, I feel like not everyone likes Bob Dylan, but everyone feels the need to like Bob Dylan.
I feel like Bob Dylan thinks he's cool, but he looks like a dork. Sorry.
Yeah. Um, so their number 4 is What's Going On by Marvin Gaye, which I think is just a stretch to have Marvin Gaye in the top 10. I don't
I'm
get it.
confused by that.
Yeah, I don't understand that. With you have bands like the Beatles and
What's going on?
What?
That song? I have
Definite
that
song.
on my
Yeah, what's
phone, but I
but
don't-
yeah, it's a good song, but not a top 10
I don't
song.
like wake up and like, oh,
I can't wait to listen to Marvin Gaye, you know?
what's going on? Brush my teeth to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking child.
African Child's the greatest song of all time. Brush my teeth to African Child. And then the next one's Respect by Aretha Franklin, which again, I don't respect that. Oof.
That could be 11, not in the top 10.
Really? You have that high in your list?
Come on, she's a legend.
I mean, she is, but I don't. It's hard for me to when
I dare you to play that song and not spell that fucking word out when it
when
comes
I
up.
write it. When I write the word respect,
You have
that
to sing.
you
it.
have to sing that song in your head.
in a soulful, heavy black voice.
I mean, exactly. Number 6 is "Good Vibrations" by the Beach Boys. I don't think the Beach Boys belong in the top 10 either. They're a goofy
I wrote
band.
down the Beach Boys to argue.
Yeah.
For one of, but not Good Vibrations.
No, I think "Don't Worry, Baby" is my favorite, but I Wouldn't It Be Nice is probably their most popular song. I think.
It's all opinion.
It's all
Everybody
opinion.
Has
It's
their
not-
own opinion, but
we're-
some people are wrong.
I'm just reading these top 10 because most of them I don't agree with, but to kind
Opposite.
of give you perspective on what they have and what we think should be on there, which is Bohemian Rhapsody. And the point of this podcast is not to decide that Bohemian Rhapsody is the greatest song of all time, because some stiff could listen to this and be like, fuck these two, what do they know what they're talking about?
I just remember clicking the next 50 songs and thinking Bohemian Rhapsody's got to be in this cluster of 50.
I went to the top 50 and I was like, I thought it would be there.
No.
That's where I started, and I was
I
like,
was like,
okay,
all right.
100. Did I miss it? And I went through the 100 and went through all 100, and then I went to the 150, and I was like, okay, did it not make the list at all?
Oh wait, did I just pass Rock Lobster?
Did I just pass "Crazy" by Gnarls Barkley?
What is?
I can't say that guy's name without saying Charles Barkley first. That's just insane that he's on the top 100 songs by the Rolling Stones, and that's a recent. That song was updated. That list was updated in the 2010s, so it's still there. "Johnny Be Good" number 7,
Love that
which
song.
that's a fantastic song. Iconic, just iconic guitar in that, which was actually not written by Chuck Berry. It was written by Michael J. Fox. If you've seen Back to the Future.
Kids are gonna love it.
Yeah. Then "Hey Jude" at number 8, which
I wrote "Hey Jude" down, and it was already on there.
Do you
so
think that's the best Beatles song? Like for
not
you,
the best, but I just know
it's the most
it was gonna-
one of the most popular ones. I mean, it's good.
For me, I like
It's
the
sim-
weirder Beatles songs.
So do I. Like "A Day in the Life," I think is my favorite Beatles
There's
song.
literally a song where the entire lyric is "Why don't we do it in the road?" But he says it different ways. the
Yeah.
whole song. I love it.
There's "Helter Skelter." There's a bunch of Beatles songs, and that's its own episode in itself. I mean, Queen's
That's a
its
whole
own
nother
episode.
podcast.
That is
Trademark.
trademarked. All right, we got another trademark situation going on.
No.
Here. All right. These are in no particular order.
No.
Shout out to Bob. Then we have "Smells Like Teen Spirit" at number 9, which
Boo.
yeah,
I'm
fuck
not a
Nir-
Nirvana-
fuck
I'm not a
Nirvana.
Nirvana
Yeah,
fan,
I
I'm sorry.
I love Dave Grohl.
Look, good music and all. I'm just not into the depressed. I can't even understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Music.
I mean, that's like Pearl Jam too.
I used to really like Pearl Jam. Yeah, but
I just like listening to music that I know what they're saying. That's just all it is.
I shouldn't have to look up the words.
Yeah, I mean,
Come
we
on,
shouldn't.
Ed.
I know. Come on, man. Get it together. Gross.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. And then number 10 for them is "What Did I Say" by Ray Charles, which, to be honest,
Yeah, I've heard that song before.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I've never heard that song, but it's clearly in the Rolling Stones top 10. I just want to know what the fuck they were smoking when they listened.
What do you think Ray said when he saw the list?
Oh, blind jokes. Oh God, we went there, folks. So now that you have heard their ridiculous top 10, I think it might be time now to offer songs that we think should be on their top 10.
Now it's time for our opinion.
Yes, which is what matters. I For songs like these, I offered kind of songs that could go ahead of Bohemian Rhapsody. Not that they belonged on the top 10 list or what have you, but just songs that were better than, that could be argued better than Bohemian Rhapsody. One of them was The Day in the Life by the Beatles, which is a very common one. That song is another one with different themes throughout the one song. And when you hear me talking, I keep saying different themes, different themes, different themes, and I'm sorry if I'm not going into them. We're going to be talking, referencing 75 songs in this podcast, and I'm not going to spend the time to go through everyone. If you haven't heard some of these songs and you seem interested in, we talk highly of them, take the time and listen to them because they're really good.
Listen to all of them
Yeah.
except Rock Lobster.
Except Rock Lobster, listen to all of them. And Crazy, you can skip that if it's up to me. Yeah. So I said A Day in the Life, and another one that I thought it's not better, but it's very good and it should be considered a top song. My Way by Frank Sinatra.
Okay. I don't really get into them that much, by like the Rat Pack, I mean,
Yeah.
by them. But that is a good song.
I mean, that's
I'll,
like a song.
I'll agree with that.
That's like a song I want playing in my funeral. I lived my life my way, and I did it my way. And fuck what everyone has to say. Fuck Rolling Stones and their top 500 songs, ridiculous 500 songs list.
Rolling Stones did it their way, but it was wrong. So
It was very wrong. I want to
better
know
luck next
who
time,
they
fellas.
asked. Line these people up, and I want to ask them why.
Mop it up.
Mop it up, grips. Shout out John Mulaney. But yeah, I mean that's like the best Frank song. Some would argue. If you ever meet someone that argues that that's not the best Frank song, just walk away and stop because
Then they don't know Frank.
they don't know Frank. But I could also say that there are probably better singers than Frank, but it wasn't about his voice. It was about his swagger.
He was the coolest dude.
I wish I knew him.
Cooler than Elvis doing fake karate.
Another good one by the Beatles that could be better than Bohemian Rhapsody is Yesterday.
What about Eleanor Rigby?
Oh, gee, I think you're swell.
We could go on.
I know. We could just go tit for tat. So for the sake of this, do you want to argue, kind of rule out Beatles?
I literally only wrote down Beatles, and then I forget what this is called because I haven't been in school in a while. But what's the ... when it's like a continuation?
Oh, I don't know. We need the Bob here.
Beatles ...
I don't know. Yeah.
...
It's just they're arguably the greatest to ever do it. I mean, they set the precedent for the music that we have today. I mean,
I feel like we kind of have to have another podcast.
we do, and
Beatles style.
if this one's well received, we'll do it. And if not, who gives a
And
shit?
then I'll try
we'll
and
do it
turn you
again.
over on the Beach Boys too, because I feel like you were a little hostile towards
I
them.
do like the Beach Boys, but
Come on, you put on the Beach Boys, you smile. You're not gonna be like.
they're
frown.
when I get
I smile.
when
the
I
Beach
start
Boys
to
are on.
get panicked or whatever, there's one song that I do like to go to that kind of calms me down, and it's "Don't Worry, Baby." And I have an old record, and I put it on, and it honestly makes like all my theoretical problems go away that I might be having in my head, and it does. Music's very therapeutic, and that's why also this is all super subjective because I just praise "Don't Worry, Baby," and there's probably a bunch of songs that are way better than that song.
It's all.
That's why this is a
It's
discussion. This
opinion,
is not
and,
an
you know.
episode where we are ranking, which is a first for this historic 4-episode podcast.
Which is why the songs that I'm bringing to the table that could rival Bohemian Rhapsody are. I'm not gonna say in no particular order, but
Yeah.
I hate.
Shout out.
I hate picking a number one song, but I'm doing it for the sake
It's
of
tough.
your podcast here.
I asked a lot of people before we got ready to do this what they thought what was their number one song, and a lot of people were like, I can't tell you.
There's too much music out there.
There's too much.
But for the sake of this podcast
That's why
For the sake
music's
of you.
amazing.
and your dashing smile, I'm gonna pick one.
Thank you.
All right, so it's not Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay.
It's not even my favorite Queen song, if I'm being honest.
It's not mine either.
I like
Don't stop me now.
Oh! Totally not planned.
Oh, that was not planned at all.
Jinx,
I
you
want
owe
to
me a
high
Coke.
five you.
Oh,
So
I wanna
bad.
Oh,
The
this
clap.
mic wasn't here.
The clap would just shatter.
Oh,
That's my favorite.
it
That's
would
my
be
favorite
like
Queen
the
song.
Snap and
Yeah.
because is it because of Shaun of the Dead?
No,
Ah,
it's just because it's a good song.
have you ever seen Shaun of the Dead?
I started to, and then something
There's
else
a
came up.
scene when that comes on and the zombies are attacked. You gotta
Yeah.
watch. It's hilarious.
There's actually in the new show on Netflix. Shout out to this is one of RP's just throwing it in here. Top pick of the week is Umbrella Academy on Netflix. Check it out. It's fucking awesome.
I watched 20 minutes of it, and my wife said, "What the fuck is this?" So
You got to get through the first episode, but in the second episode, Don't Stop Me Now.
no, I'm going to.
Shows
I
up.
might watch the rest of it when I get home.
Yeah,
later.
I got half hour left in the season finale, but the
I'll
soundtrack,
text you about it.
the sound. Oh, please do. The soundtrack to that song is phenomenal. I mean, to that show is phenomenal. Don't Stop Me Now was in that for a fight scene, and I was like, this is awesome. It's Queen.
Great song.
It
Great
is.
song.
It gets me amped up. Like when I'm driving home from work and that song comes on, I pretend like I'm Freddie out on that stage and just rock into that song.
All right, so
Sorry, I digress.
"Don't Stop Me Now," my
Yeah.
favorite Queen song, but
Yeah.
still not the number one. My number one song.
Yeah.
My number one song, the artist wasn't even on the Rolling Stone list, which I'm so confused. He could have had one song on there. Bob Seger.
Oh,
Night
he
Mo-
didn't have one.
Night Moves by Bob Seger is my all-time favorite song. If I had to pick one,
I
which
think I wrote that down as songs that should be better. Yeah, I have it on my
not saying
songs
it's
that
better than Bohemian Rhapsody, but
Yeah.
if you listen to that song,
Bob Seger didn't make this
change
list.
your fucking world.
If he didn't make the top. That's shocking. Bob Seger didn't make it.
No,
Let me
I didn't see it unless like my phone.
I mean,
froze a couple
I'm not
times.
seeing it now.
Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band robbed, snubbed by Rolling Stone.
Wow, that's baffling.
It's a dictatorship over there.
That is baffling. We
Ruling
have a
with an
real
iron
the
fist.
crumb bum of the week is fucking Rolling Stones magazine. Like Johnny Cash, Folsom Prison Blues. As much as I
Fucking
love that
crumbs.
song, there's no Bob Seger. And if you guys have seen this list and you see Bob Seger, please let us know because we are looking for him. But yeah, Night Moves I had on my list for discussion purposes only of what songs that could be better than Bohemian Rhapsody. I mean-
Great record.
It's like I said, it's all relative. I'm gonna keep saying it.
You could hear that song and hate that song. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna listen to it whenever it comes on.
That song puts me in a good mood. It's
That song is. So I also this song. I've always loved this song, and I don't give a shit if you think it's. I don't care where you rank it, but also I didn't. Was this on there? Joe Walsh, "Life's Been Good."
I
That's
don't think
another.
so.
That's a long
It's a great
song. That's like an 8-minute
But
song.
that's another one getting into Joe Walsh and the Eagles.
I also have the Eagles written down.
Yes.
Here. I don't know what your favorite Eagles song is. I know you're a big Eagles guy.
Yeah.
But mine is what the fuck is it now? Take It Easy.
Yeah, I mean that's
Great
That-
written. Well, like it's just.
well. The
it
best part
flows.
about that is that song wasn't even started by them. It was started by Jackson Brown.
Another legend. I don't have him written down, but he's.
If you want to listen to a good Jackson Brown song, it's Running on Empty. That song is fantastic. It covers a lot, and then there's the Loadout that turns into a cover of Stay by the Jersey Boys, or sorry, Frankie Valli. My favorite Eagles song is actually Lion Eyes. That song, I love it. It's a pretty long song and kind of just about this woman who's cheating on her husband and didn't really marry for love. Crack it on the mic,
It's a
James.
very real song. Very real song.
This podcast is brought to you by Natty Light this
Natty
time.
Light. It's so good.
I ran out of beer, so that's what we're drinking.
No,
Yeah.
no, I love it.
The Eagles are one of my favorite bands
Great
ever,
band, great band.
ever. And to talk about their best songs, it's Hotel California, Take It Easy. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's
Take It Easy.
You
I
know
mean,
all
everyone
the
knows
songs.
it. And the best part about them is I didn't really get into them until a couple years ago. While I
same
actually
with me,
watched their
actually, the
documentary.
yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, they wrote that song, they wrote this song. It's crazy. But
I never knew that
as I
Joe
digress.
Walsh wasn't originally
Really
even
an
in
Eagle.
the band. So you know,
He's crazy.
learn something new every day.
He's awesome. It gets hard to talk to listen to him talk though. I gotta admit.
He definitely sings, but he's like Ozzy Osbourne. He sings better than.
Yeah. Uh,
So another band I had written down here, who I don't think gets talked about at all, and I was like, it was pretty high. I think I took a picture. It was pretty high on the Rolling Stone list, maybe like 44. It was 41. It's the band, The Wait.
oh, The Wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great song. That probably is their best song, "The Wait."
That is definitely their best song.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I love that song.
yeah.
And I was just listening to it the other day, and it's be stuck in my head for the next month now. But
The kind of music that I like a lot is very mellow. It's very chill,
that's a
and
very
that's the band. That is them.
the band is actually the name of the band, by
yes.
the way.
Um, which is very confusing. It's like imagine being like, "Oh, I'm going to a concert. You're going to see the band."
Yeah.
No fucking shit. Like, who are you going to see? The band.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's like, dude, where's my car?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah. No, they're really good. Better than Bohemian Rhapsody? Probably not. Like I said.
I wouldn't say better than Bohemian Rhapsody, but it definitely has. It could stay with you. That's a great song.
It's a classic.
I agree. It should be in top 50. For
yeah,
sure.
yeah. It's a classic. It's
But
a classic.
166 for Bohemian Rhapsody. That is absolute garbage.
It's terrible, and like a
Garbage.
few above that
Putrid.
is Eminem. It's putrid.
Putrid.
It's terrible. Gross. Another song that I had that could be, I did songs that could be better than Bohemian Rhapsody, and I also did songs that are left out of the top 10, which I would like to get into that we think that believe we should be in there, and I think that this is a good combination of kind of both.
It doesn't even. Sorry. It doesn't even
No, you're
necessarily
good.
have to be better than another song.
Yeah.
Just songs that should be talked about.
Oh yeah,
You know,
that's
no
a
one ever gives any.
That's a great
credit
point,
to.
James. I don't. These songs that I have are probably not ones that aren't talked about, but that people sometimes don't maybe hold them in where they should be. I mean, some do.
Maybe they don't get credit for a reason, and I'm the only one that likes them. But
No, but I think I agree with
yeah,
you.
come
So
on.
I mean, unless we're the only
There's gotta
two
be more.
morons.
There's got to be more of us out there that drink Natty Light and listen to the band. Listen to the band called the band.
The band. The times they are changing, I think, should be top 10 songs because that's very key to. That's the one Bob Dylan song I love, and it's key to that time in music. That was what was going on in the world, and it's very relative and very perspective and at that time very potent.
Potent songs last longer. Take notes.
They do. They really do. I mean, the one that I keep coming back to, though, that I think is maybe better is just A Day in the Life.
Yeah, you
And
love that.
I
You're
do.
all over that.
I really do. I think a lot of that has to do with my dad. That's like his favorite Beatles song, and like one of his favorite songs of all time.
All right, so I'm honestly surprised you haven't said this song yet. And just growing up, I always gravitated toward this song for some reason. Like it used to be one of my MySpace songs. Shout out to MySpace.
That was a big deal. Picking
Yeah.
your MySpace song.
Well,
That's a
mine
big
changed
deal.
like every week, but this
Yeah, so
stayed
did
for
I.
a while. So
Which one was this?
it would be Mr. Blue Sky by Electric
ELO.
Light
Yeah.
Orchestra.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. That song, I knew that song.
Try not to dance to that song, even if you can't dance.
If you can't tap your
I
toe
can't
and
dance.
wiggle your finger to that song, then just get out of life.
I don't know if you
what to
know
tell
me, but I don't smile a lot.
No,
When that
you
song
just-
comes on,
Oh, you
forget about it.
Yeah, that song's great. And you know what's funny? That is another kind of, for some people, eye-opening experience with the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtracks.
It's a great song for a great soundtrack.
That-
too.
that's- Those soundtracks exposed me to Redbone for "Come and Get Your Love." It brought back Blue Swedes who "Hooked on a Feeling"
Yeah.
because I knew that song, but it brought it back. I mean, "Ain't No Mountain High Enough," "Father and Son" by Cat Stevens.
Great.
Lakeshore Drive. That song is great by I think it's called like the Howard Shore Band or something like that. I'm drawing a blank here. I should probably know this,
Who knows? But that's another podcast.
but that is another podcast. Just dissecting those soundtracks is an episode in itself, which is Space Odyssey is one we don't talk about. I think that's the best Bowie song. But Bowie, I think, is overrated, and this might
I'm
be.
sorry, but to all the Bowie,
People
the
love
Bowie
Bowie.
fans, but I just.
I don't-
R.I.P. Bowie.
Yeah, for sure.
Under
was-
Pressure, great song. I don't like Bowie.
I don't like Bowie either.
I don't like Bowie.
And I apologize to fans of Bowie. And you know what? If you don't agree with us, tell us why. Give us some songs to listen to by Bowie that think to you represent Bowie to, like to the T, represent David
Yeah.
Bowie that we should
The
listen to.
songs I've heard by him, I hear all the time. So
It's like Changes
Yeah.
and Space Odyssey
Change the
changes. Yeah, I mean seriously. I mean, I love Bowie. Like I loved what Bowie stood for. It was
He was the guy Madonna.
yes, that's a
Yeah.
perfect example. Um,
And he totally had sex with
Men,
um
women.
no, stop. I just totally blanked.
We'll come back to that.
Freddie Mercury.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh,
I swear that was like a scandal. That was like
really?
a thing, yeah. Because
Wow.
they worked together.
We need
on
our
that.
fact checkers.
By
on
the
this
way,
one.
did you ever hear the vocals like
Yeah,
for that
For
song
Under Pressure?
on YouTube? Yeah,
Yeah.
without the
without the music, it's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
I
Freddie
could
Mercury
listen to Freddie.
It's not even a. That's why I don't like David Bowie because he's not even. It doesn't even compare.
No, he's not a very good vocalist. He's got a very unique voice, and it's
unique
good.
as in I could have a unique
That's
voice
true,
because
you
no one
could.
sounds like like, but
It's
still
just
gotta be able to
it's
sing.
yeah no, and that alone is why one of the reasons too why I'm such a big proponent of Bohemian Rhapsody is what Freddie does in that song.
The vocals are
The vocals are unbelievable.
it's-
It's just Freddie Mercury being Freddie Mercury,
forget
and
about
it's weird that there are Queen songs not sung by Freddie Mercury. Which one of my favorite Queen songs that I really like is called 39, which is not sung by Freddie.
Who's it sung by?
I want to say the guitarist, which
The guy with the sweet hair.
the guy with the
Who
sweet
looks
hair,
like Howard
Dave
Stern?
maybe is his name. I don't know. I'm blanking here. Another good one, Captain Jack by Billy Joel.
I was gonna say Piano Man, but I didn't write Billy Joel down. But I agree with that.
Yeah,
It's a good one.
when I was doing this too, I was trying to think of the best Billy Joel song.
I really like River of Dreams.
Yeah,
I love that song.
yeah. But to say, yeah, that's
but,
what I mean.
But I'm not gonna put that in the top 10 Rolling Stones.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's
I'll
a fun
put that
song.
right before Rock Lobster.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably Captain Jack. Piano Man is their best song. It's Billy Joel's best song.
Well,
Which
it's his most liked song by everyone that
Yeah.
doesn't really know Billy Joel songs.
Yes, that's true.
Take that.
One we haven't really talked about at all. There's two that the one is Louis Armstrong's "What a Wonderful World," which that I believe should be on the top 10 list.
That guy. That talk about one of a kind voice.
Yes.
Who knew if like Bill Cosby had a singing career? Like instead of raping girls, what would have happened?
Yo, that's funny. So true. I mean, that's a Bill. It sounds like he's doing like a Bill Cosby impression.
Also, that
But I love
gave
that song.
birth to the fat Hawaiian dude, Israel.
Yes,
That song's great
with the
too.
Wonderful World and,
yeah,
Somewhere Over the
mashup with
Rainbow.
yeah,
Great
that's
song.
a good song.
And Pink Floyd. I've not talked about Pink. I'm not a Pink Floyd guy.
All right, I grew up. My dad. That was a song you couldn't play Pink Floyd. You couldn't play the Doors. That's not why I don't like them. Pink
I don't
Floyd's
fuck with
okay,
the
but I
Doors.
will not.
Yeah.
I just.
I don't fuck with the Doors.
They're very slow, and the Doors are very. You have to like a different kind of music to like the Doors.
Yeah,
My wife loves the Doors,
really.
but she was raised on the Doors.
That's the thing. And music is very what you're
But I
raised
don't
on,
like. I don't
what you
dislike
like.
them
Yeah, I don't.
because of that.
I don't
It's-
hate the Doors. They're just not my cup of tea.
It's the same thing with Nirvana. The Doors songs are good. The lyrics
Dark.
and the singing are. He was fucked up all the time too. So
Yeah. That's just it's just hard with music because somebody could listen to this podcast and be like, oh my god, the Doors, like they're such an influential band, and to me, no, yeah, exactly, because they don't do anything for me.
Oh, you want to play the Doors? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they don't do anything for me. Neither does Pink Floyd, and Pink Floyd is legendary.
Pink Floyd. I put that on like if I want to take a nice nap or
It's
like,
very mellow.
You know,
That's
tell
just
myself.
that's all I have to say about that.
Um,
Two other ones, "Sweet Child of Mine" by Guns N' Roses.
I don't like to talk about Guns N' Roses
Why?
because they fucked over Philly a couple times.
They said they were playing in.
Nah, they're okay. I mean, they're like the poor man's AC/DC, but
I
whatever.
think they could have been one of the greats.
AC/DC's
if
like
they
Blue
stuck together.
Moon and Guns N' Roses is like Shock Top.
All right, it's a good comparison.
If Shock Top was like fat and overweight and didn't show up to concerts.
That can happen. And then Baba O'Reilly by The Who, which that song
That was on the,
aggravates
that was
the
on
shit
the
about me.
Rolling Stones list.
Yeah.
Why does it aggravate you?
Because how long it takes for that song to get going.
Do you know how many people don't know the correct name of that song?
Yeah, they think
So
it's
many
Teenage
peop-
Wasteland.
I think somebody was like arguing with me one day, and I was like, "No, I know for a fact that that's not Teenage
Yeah.
Wasteland's not the name of the song."
Yeah.
Like, oh, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. It's Teenage Wasteland. You got it.
So those are the songs that I just kind of rambled off that I think could make the argument that they're better than Bohemian Rhapsody. Not top 10 worthy, but some of them are, but that they are better than Bohemian Rhapsody.
I wrote this down, so I'm gonna say it.
All right.
I don't care about top 10 right now. I don't care about this. Is just an awesome song, and I've always loved it. It's Possum Kingdom by the Toadies.
I don't even know that song.
Yes, you do.
How's it go?
It's dude. Hold on. About to play your first song ever on this fucking podcast.
We do not own the rights to this song. We do not own the rights to this song.
I do.
James does, apparently. Sue him. 5 people are going to listen to this anyway. We're not getting sued.
All right. Well, I had the song, but you don't know. It's literally about a vampire.
What? Really?
Yeah. If you listen to the lyrics,
Hmm.
if I can even find it.
When you hear Bohemian Rhapsody, does it have any emotional connection to you? Like, do you think of anything specifically with that song?
There's a lot of songs that hold specific memories for me, but Bohemian Rhapsody is literally just Wayne's World, and I kind of get in a good mood when the song comes on. I mean, even if part of the song could be sad, but
It's an upbeat, uplifting song. It gets you pumped up.
it starts off slow, it builds, and then it kind of
It has
it fades out.
it has an awesome
instead of just ending.
climax
Yeah.
and then a very good resolution. But
Okay.
for me, I mean, that song, Green Day, before they go on, which I love seeing them live, they play that song over the loudspeaker and everybody's singing it.
They do it every show.
Every show. Everybody in the audience is
That's a
singing
good way
it.
to get people like
Amped up and ready to go. And it's just an awesome experience and environment. I got chills just like thinking about it. Just everybody chanting that song together. And
Yeah,
just
there are the
singing.
parts in that movie where the entire insane amount of people is just singing the words for you.
Yeah. It's
That's
just like, I mean, the end
what
of
is
the
that?
movie.
What do you think that would even feel like?
I don't know. I thought about it too. I was like,
Just being in the stands.
when we were watching,
the-
when I was watching Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie, and they're doing the Live Aid segment at the end, and I'm like, can you imagine being on that stage and just having all those people know every single word to your song?
No wonder they all get like egotistical. And
Yeah, I
fucking
mean, hey, they're
crazy.
talented as shit. Those people deserve to. The music of today sucks. I got like, what is the considered popular music today?
I was
sucks.
gonna say, I was thinking earlier, like, no song today would have the same effect
No.
as the songs did back then. Like, because there's too much social media and everything. When a song was big back then, that's what people listened to, and that was it. There wasn't a new song like rivaling it right away.
Yeah.
Like, that was the king song for
Yeah.
you know.
That's what like my mom was telling me because we were watching. She was watching the movie the other day, and when Radio Gaga, because I like Radio Gaga a lot by the Queen, and she said, "Well, she's like, I remember when that song came out. That song. Everyone loved that song. Everyone knew all the words to that song, and because that's how it was. And a lot of the people like the same music today. Everyone likes different stuff. I mean, I don't want to say everyone liked the same stuff because I wasn't alive, so I can't weigh in. But I just today's music is so different where you could go to a party and hear literally nothing that you like. I mean, that happens with me a lot.
I try to listen to something new at least once a week.
Yeah, that's good.
And that doesn't mean I forget
Yeah.
all the other songs, you know. But there is a lot of bad stuff out right now, like just stuff that shouldn't even be music.
Yeah. Rap is just.
And no offense to Kevin Smith, but your daughter's band sucks.
Oh, who's his daughter?
Harley Quinn. Smith.
Oh yeah, she's got a band.
It's like a bubblegum punk
Oh,
band.
God.
It's
Oh God.
I don't even know how I stumbled across
You
it.
know what I will say? The music today that could hold a candle to some of the stuff from the 80s and the 70s, 80s. Mumford and Sons. What the music, that the passion and the talent that is in their music is unbelievable. Them, and I really like Imagine Dragons a lot.
Seeing
Not their new
Mumford-
album. Their new album's not that good.
What do you mean? I liked it.
I thought it was just very repetitious. Like
I thought it was a
I was-
really good. I thought it was very. I thought that the Revivalist new album was great. Bastille had a good album last
Yeah.
year
this,
that no one seems to know about. I'm like the
Yeah,
only one that
Bastille.
listened to it.
he doesn't get the airplay.
Well, you don't need the airplay. You have your
Yeah.
phone. You can put on whatever you want. But
Hosier's very good. Could a Hosier song be on the top 100?
top 500.
Top 500, yeah.
But probably it would be Take Me to Church, right? Because
That's his big one.
we're
but,
talking
I mean,
about songs that could make it, that me and you could listen to get deeper into
Yeah.
Hosier and be like, oh, this song's really good. But
What about I definitely think Mumford could. I think Mumford should be on this list. If you consider their folk music, rock and roll,
being at a Mumford show live, the energy is
unbelievable.
it's something else. It's
But
hard to describe.
That
It's hard to describe.
music venues and concerts we've been to, that's another episode. That would be really
Yeah.
cool to have a cool
Yeah.
discussion about that.
Yeah, I've been to some pretty cool shows.
I will say, for me anyway, to get back to what I was talking about, was Bohemian with the commotional connection, and I don't have a bad memory associated with Bohemian Rhapsody, and that's why I hold it to such a high regard, because when it comes on, I just want to rock out to it. And
Yeah, and don't tell me when when it finally peaks at the build, you're not fucking banging your head back and forth like Wayne and Garth.
yeah, I know it's great. It is legendary. It really is.
It's definitely top 10.
All right,
It's
so
definitely top 10.
we're in agreement that it's a top 10 song.
I came with an argument on paper that could argue it's number one.
All
I
right.
don't believe it's number one, but on paper this definitely has a case.
All right, let me hear it.
You got it's UK's third best selling single all time, which the Beatles and Rolling Stones both came out.
I would argue that some of the best music, I mean, maybe the best
you don't
music
want to
is
admit
coming
it.
from
You don't want to admit it, but yes,
the UK.
Yeah,
It is, without a doubt.
even today you got Muse. Muse is a great band. They're
Eh,
all right. Well, you have to like them, but
you gotta like them. I mean, I'm not a big fan, but you know, appreciate what they are. You will. I do.
6 million copies sold worldwide. The song has no chorus for one, so
That's true.
What the fuck's
There's
up
no
with that?
repetition.
What the fuck's up with that? How hard is it to have that good of a song with no catchy you
Yeah,
know?
I mean, they have like some parts that are repeated, but it's for a couple seconds.
I would also no other band harmonizes the way Queen does. Well, I will say honorable mention the Eagles.
Yes, I was gonna
but-
say that. Yeah.
But Queen does it the best, and the best example is Bohemian Rhapsody. And
Yeah.
and also
On the way home
You're My
today.
Best Friend.
Yeah.
And
Somebody to Love.
yeah, Somebody to Love. That's
On my way home, I was listening to that today, and I was like, "Damn, they harmonize really good."
I love bands where the whole band sings. That's why I
Yeah.
like the Eagles.
Yeah. The
it
Eagles-
It just sounds better.
It does. It sounds. I mean, I'm not saying like they're not a cappella. They're just harmonizing. It's good.
But the talent to do that.
Yeah, it's unrivaled. Really, the Beatles. I don't even think the Beatles do it. The Stones do it.
Beatles just have a different lead singer, for
Yeah.
half of each,
That's another thing about the Eagles. Everybody can sing.
Well, yeah.
That's
You get
impressive.
Joe Walsh in there, and then
Joe Walsh, Glenn Fry,
they almost had
the Don.
was it Tom Petty that almost had Stevie Nicks, or was that the Eagles?
I think it was Tom Petty. I think
Yeah,
it was
they
Stevie
didn't want
Nicks.
her because she was already established. That was what. All right, totally off topic. there.
Whatever. I don't know how we got to there. Stevie Nicks. I mean, they're good.
Again,
Landslide.
that's a whole nother podcast.
Landslide, man.
Who sang Landslide better, Smashing Pumpkins or Stevie Nicks?
Stevie Nicks.
Debatable.
All right. I disagree with
It
that.
was Stevie Nicks, but I feel like I could make some kind of argument about it.
So, like we kind of talked about, do you believe that any songs from the 2010s deserve to be in the top 10 or top 100? Offhand.
Can you name a couple songs? Like, I'm not good with the
Like
years.
Mumford. I think Mumford was, actually, I think they were like 2008 when, like, Little Lion Man and all that came out.
2008 sounds about right. 2008, 2009.
I'll have to fact check that, maybe. I
We'll
probably
edit that
won't.
out. We'll edit that out. Don't worry
Yeah,
about
don't worry about it. We didn't even talk about it. All right. So.
Talk about what?
Exactly. Is this a dream or not? Are we in Inception?
Wait for the top to stop spinning.
Yeah, it's still spinning, man. So we kind of didn't really decide yet if Bohemian Rhapsody is the greatest song of all time, and that really wasn't our goal. Our goal was kind of just to talk about it, talk about other songs, talk about this ridiculous top 500 list. It's fucking awful.
I would say on paper you could make a strong argument for Bohemian Rhapsody, but I could say you could also make a strong argument for 9 other songs
Yeah, I
to
know.
beat it out.
A, B, C, D.
It should be in the top 10, and that's
Yeah.
all.
So,
That's all we need.
so
to say.
your number one song, you said you don't have one, but you said
But
you
if
made
you're making
one.
me pick
I'm
gun
making
to my
you-
head
I'm
here,
putting a
he's
gun
really,
to your-
yo, he has one.
Call the cops. What is it?
It's Night Moves by Bob Seger.
That's 100%.
I will make love to Bob Seger if he sings me that song.
That's all it takes. My pants would drop too, so I'm not even gonna lie.
Come on now.
My top song. I've been saying it for years, but I mean, I don't.
Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae. No,
Damn it! Damn it! Jim, why would you do that?
that's catchy.
No.
Catchy. It's a happening ditty.
Yeah, it's kind of fallen off in recent years, but for about 10 or 15 years, this was like my favorite song of all time. 15 years, it's not right because it hasn't even been out that long. But about 10 years, it's Jesus of Suburbia by Green Day.
I figured you were building that because you talked about it earlier. But
Yeah,
that's fair.
that's my
That's a little
favorite song.
biased, but it's fair.
Do you have like offhand like 5 songs that you
I was gonna name a
considered?
couple more.
Yeah, I want to
I
hear
was
them.
thinking about this earlier today. I didn't write it down, but I don't know how I left it out. Boston,
Well-
Foreplay Long Time. Great fucking song.
Yeah, I don't know that song.
Another long song. You definitely know that song.
Really?
But you probably get bored on the intro, and
When I think of Boston, I think of Hooked More Than a Feeling.
it's been such a long time. I think I should be going.
Maybe. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's not ringing a bell, but I like that you're dancing right now.
Listen to the song.
All right, I will. Another one I had was Lion Eyes, which I talked about. Don't Stop Me Now by Queen,
Great
which
song.
is
Also, I found
which is going to my
Possum Kingdom. If you would like
Yeah.
to take a little, it's just all you have to listen to is the first part, and you're
Okay,
gonna know the song.
this is that song he was talking about. Oh yeah, yeah, I know this song.
Song's about a vampire. Listen to it.
That was a callback from about 20 minutes ago, I think, when he couldn't get it to work. Don't Stop Me Now, and then I actually had Ghost That We Knew by Mumford and Sons.
Great song.
It's probably my favorite Mumford song.
That could be a whole podcast, is ranking Mumford songs,
Yeah.
because I honestly wouldn't even know where to start.
Hey guys, if you'd like to hear that, if you're still listening, let us know, because we'll definitely do a Mumford and Sons
Are
episode.
you guys still listening?
I hope so. If not, yes. And then Yesterday by the Beatles is up there. So if you can name me a couple more, that would be great. Just to kind of give the audience a little bit of background into what are kind of like your favorite songs.
I was thinking about this one the other day. That also, I didn't see them on the list either for Rolling Stone. Shout out to Rolling Stone. Bad Company, Shooting Star.
Okay, I know that song.
Everybody
like
should know
that song a lot.
That's a great song.
Yeah, that is a good song.
That song just makes you feel good. I mean, until the guy dies with the sleeping pills and the alcohol. But, you know.
You know who we didn't talk about at all? The Foo Fighters.
I was very hesitant to put, like, modern rock on this list because I feel like it hasn't been around long enough to...
Weigh in.
Yes, but I feel like if we did that, we would have to do, like, a cutoff point, like modern rock.
Yeah.
Because Foo Fighters, Black Keys, you know, Incubus, Red Hot Chili Peppers, where do you stop?
I know you love the Chili's.
Chili Peppers been around since '84. They could technically be on the Rolling Stone list.
I don't
Really?
hate.
You
I don't
hate
hate them.
A lot of people don't.
I
like
don't.
them.
I don't like them.
They're funkadelic, baby.
I like their old stuff.
No,
Like
you sound like me with Green Day now.
yeah, I know. I like as far back as I'll go is Snow. Like to like a cutoff point with their new stuff is Snow Heyo. Like that's where I go with that.
Well, it's
But that you're right. There's so much better music.
I could show you so many good Chili Pepper songs that are never on the radio.
I know.
That are better than all the radio songs.
You know what? Send me a list. Good Chili Pepper song. But yeah, no, that's a good point. I think there was so much better music made and recorded back in the day.
Well, I mean, you could start with Little Richard from the 50s.
Yeah.
Those songs are good. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if he's every
I
other
like
word.
Lionel.
He's like, woo. I love that. I stop what I'm doing at work and hit those little.
You gotta hit him. You gotta hit him. But yeah, you're right. You're so right. There's got to be a cutoff point, and so I think that is so. Before we get to our final point, I want to do my top 5 Queen songs, and I want you to do your top 5 Queen songs.
I feel like my top 5 Queen songs are gonna be pretty basic.
Well, let me hear them.
I'm a basic bitch
Well, they're
when it comes to Queen songs.
once you dive into their
Let me pull up.
they have
these
some weird
songs.
shit.
Well, yeah, I don't like. I think I have like 12 songs, but I really love 12 songs I have. If I'm not making a good case for myself here, I don't believe Bohemian Rhapsody is the best song ever. But then again, I could be wrong.
I
Then
think it's
again.
one of the most popular ones.
Oh, Queen. Oh, Queen.
Queen.
Yeah, I was talking about like number one all
It's
time.
Queen's
but-
most popular song without a doubt. I
yeah,
think,
for sure.
but
sure.
it's not their
it's
best.
the name of the movie.
So I guess we're gonna read. I'll read mine. I'll name my top 5, and then we're gonna go to James, who's gonna do his top 5, and then
Yeah, let me
we'll name.
get myself together. over
I
here.
asked the listeners to give me a top 3, and the best from that list will get a free previously recorded T-shirt brought to you by Totally Tees.
Top 3. You're telling them to.
Yeah, 'cause
that's
that's-
even harder.
And we'll see which ones we like the best. So my top 5, starting from 5 going to 1, is Radio Gaga, because that song makes me super happy. And that is just talking about the joy of music, of just hearing a song on the radio, and I'm so happy right now. I'm not gonna lie, because like the joy, like the pure joy that song is.
Your joy is making me rethink my list over here.
Radio Gaga. It's,
Something just got bumped out.
it's just like you could be having the worst night, you could be having the best night of your life, and you turn that radio on, and it's going to add to it, because there's going to be music coming out of there that you want to hear, that you want to add. That's why I love music.
It's the thing you
Emotional-
do the most. You get up. You put music on while you're getting ready.
Yeah.
It's on in your car.
You know what's awesome? And Dave Grohl talked about this, because someone asked him about, if you go to a concert nowadays, you're going to most likely hear something political that no one wants to fucking hear when they're there. Whether you're for the point, you're against the point.
Just keep it out of the show.
You keep it out of the show. And Dave says, I have this opportunity to bring people together and unite them. And I think a lot of artists are like this. And you could bring 2 people that hate each other, and you hear a song like Bohemian Rhapsody playing, and you're going to come together, and you're just going to celebrate
You're
the
gonna
song.
You're gonna hit that high note.
You're going to hit the high note.
You know you are together.
Yeah. And you're going to maybe even embrace. Have a couple drinks in you, you probably might even embrace.
Same thing with Piano Man, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
If you're at the bar and you have a couple drinks in you, you're definitely hugging the guy next to you.
Absolutely.
When, the chorus comes around.
Well, I've seen Billy Joel a couple times, and every time that plays, everyone's locking arm in arm.
Again, Piano Man has a chorus.
Yes, that's true. Bohemian Rhapsody
So-
doesn't.
Gets the edge.
So anyway, that is why I have Radio Gaga on my top list, because I think that just embodies everything that music is.
I don't have a problem with that one.
Yes.
today.
I also have Love of My Life. I think it's just a nice love song. To a woman. He wrote that for a woman. Was it intended for a man?
I
To
think
be
his
determined.
opinion changed on it
Yes.
drastically.
Then I have Under Pressure at number 3.
I think that's a good song, but I think it's way overrated just because David Bowie's in it.
Yes.
It's great for Freddie Mercury's part, but I've heard it so much that
Yeah. You could argue that that's not strictly like. How about we keep this to strictly like Queen? No
that's,
other.
That's
But it's a
everyone-
great
It's
song.
always a Queen.
If
song.
I didn't have that song, it would be Hammer to Fall. I like that song a lot. That and another, just a little shout out. Good old fashioned Lover Boy. It's a nice little Queen
Okay.
ditty. And then I have Bohemian Rhapsody number 2, and then Don't Stop Me Now at number 1.
Okay. So yeah, yours is like mine's so much more basic than. So I'm gonna go Radio Gaga number 5. You swayed me, and then I'm gonna go number 4. I Want to Break Free.
That song,
I love that.
that music video is the weirdest music. The part where they're just like in drag is hilarious, but the rest of that music video is super weird.
Well, I mean,
Super
they,
weird.
They were weirdos, but
Yeah, they were.
that's weird is good.
Yeah, I agree. If you ain't weird, you ain't living life.
What was that? Number 4.
Yeah.
So number 3 would have to be You're My Best Friend.
Mm-hmm.
3 would be Somebody to Love. Number 2, Bohemian Rhapsody, and then number 1, Don't Stop
Let
Me
me know. Yeah. Another shout out one to Fat Bottom Girls.
Yeah, well, the greatest hits is the greatest hits, but
Yeah, Bicycle.
you always got the ones you gravitate to.
So before we get into the ones from Twitter and Facebook, if someone walked up to you and said, "Hey, Bohemian Rhapsody is the greatest song of all time," There's nothing's preventing you from arguing with this guy. Would you say fuck that, or would you say, you know what, I don't disagree with that?
I normally I don't like to say anything about anybody else's music because what you
Yeah.
like is what you like.
Yeah.
If it's like it's not like Billy Madison where I'm like Bohemian Rhapsody sucks.
Donkey Kong's the best.
Yeah,
That's a
Bohemian
good
Rhapsody
point.
sucks. Stairway's better.
So I'll just say from what I've heard in my entire life is that's always the number one argument for the best song is Stairway to Heaven.
Well, I mean, again, that song builds.
Yeah, that's a very long song.
It's very it's very slow, but it's also a very good song.
Yes.
But deserves top 10. I don't know about number 1.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Night Moves by Bob Seger. Look it up. That's all I'm gonna say.
If someone came up to me and said "Like a Rolling Stone" is the best song of all time,
I'd say go fuck yourself.
I would say go fuck yourself because there's no shot. But if someone walked up to me and said, "Hey, I think," even though someone would never just walk up to me and say, "Hey, I think Bohemian Rhapsody is the greatest song of all time," I'd be like, okay, yeah, because there's so much that goes into it that it's hard to argue against. It's not. I'm not saying it's the best song. It's definitively the best song. But if someone brought that argument up to me, I would say, yeah, you're right. If someone said to me, Imagine, I would say, yeah, that's a good shot. If someone said to me, A Day in the Life, Hotel California, would not argue against any of that.
What if I said to you that Bohemian Rhapsody was going to be ranked 166 on Rolling Stone's
I would-
top 500 songs behind Gnarls Barkley, Crazy, and what was that one again? Rock Lobster.
Rock Lobster. The classic Rock
and
Lobster.
only 20 above Hey Ya by Outkast. Bohemian Rhapsody is only 20 songs better than Hey Ya by Outkast. I love that song, but get the fuck out of here.
So, you know what else is on there that's ahead of it? By the Beatles. I Saw Her Standing There.
Well,
That's a good song, but I don't think that's better than Bohemian Rhapsody. But anyway, we could go.
Beatles gonna Beatle.
So I think we maybe not accomplished anything, but we had a good framework for songs that are maybe not as good as Bohemian Rhapsody, but they are just as good, and that Bohemian Rhapsody definitely belongs in Rolling Stone's top 10, and that list is horseshit.
Yeah, this whole podcast started out as us just talking about that, and then Rolling Stone kind of ruined it.
Yeah, it did.
That's just
Because I thought that would be a good.
I should have stuck with Billboard.
MGK we should have stuck with. But this was kind of just like a test to see how this podcast would go. It's a new format for us. Don't have my two co-hosts here who.
It was a little more quiet.
It was much quieter. So we were all over the place, I will admit, and that's kind of all my fault. But that's how a discussion is. You kind of just are all over the place. I had questions. We looked at them. But yeah, and I want to thank James for being here. So now, me and James are going to decide who's getting the free T-shirt.
Let's do it.
All right. So after some discussion and reading over, we have decided who we think deserves the T-shirt. James, are you ready to announce it?
What was the name again?
This one goes to @PennyLane499 on Twitter.
Oh, @PennyLane499 on Twitter. Congratulations!
You have won a previously recorded T-shirt.
Come on down. I mean, we're going to send it to you.
We will send it to you in her list, folks. For those of you who have not seen it on our Twitter page, is Fat Bottom Girls, Under Pressure, and Radio Gaga. And you know what? I really like that. A shout out to anyone who included Flash or good old fashioned Loverboy, because we didn't even talk about the Flash Gordon theme.
About the Flash Gordon ridiculous theme song from Ted.
Yeah, that's where it's famous from.
Yeah, not even Flash Gordon, which
Yeah.
try to watch that because you can't even watch it all the way
It's
through.
terrible.
So,
James, any closing remarks as we end this episode?
yeah, I don't like Rolling Stone anymore.
Fuck the Rolling Stone magazine. All right, so I just want to thank you guys for listening. If you like this episode, let us know. We're trying a new format. We're probably going to be tweaking it some going forward. We will still have our list and rankings. Our next episode will be go-to childhood movies, which I think might be discussion based. We'll let you know when I know. But yeah, if you like the podcast, recommend it to someone, like and share it. Leave us a rating and subscribe to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and you can always hear us on SoundCloud. So I want to thank you, James. Thank you for stopping by and living out this.
Thanks for having me. I look forward to possibly coming back if I'm allowed after this airs.
I would love to have you back. All right, guys. Thank you for listening to Previously Recorded. This episode is brought to you by Totally Tease. Good night.